The Dodgers advance to face Philadelphia in the National League playoffs. The Rams can strengthen their grip on the NFC West by facing a wounded rival tonight, and NHL scribes are dropping not-so-subtle hints. It's Quentin Byfield's time now. Good morning. I'm James, and this is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the faithful Angelenos Morning Report. It is October 2nd, 2025. 2 wins down, 11 to go for the Angelenos to get yet another crown. Nothing is guaranteed in life other than death, taxes, and the city of angels in a constant pursuit of greatness. So, if you like being in the know about LA sports, well, if you do, clickety-clack the like button. Clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notification bell. Hit that. It'll let you know when we drop an update. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. By all means, comment. Now, before we go through the news and notes, we have an expanded look at the scoreboard as we're going to do through the Dodgers run in the playoffs. Dodgers 8, Cincinnati 4. The Dodgers are the only team to post a sweep in the wild card series. They're going to advance to face the Phillies in the National League Divisional Series, which opens Saturday in Philadelphia. Shohei Ohtani is going to start in Game 1. Now, we'll talk more about that matchup in the coming days. The takeaway from last night, it's something that you know just as much as I do. LA is going to club you over the head and hope that the rest of the team can act like an ointment over that diseased bullpen, the penicillin for the STD of the team, for lack of a better way of saying. Now look, on the plus side, Mookie Betts collects 4 hits, 3 doubles, 3 RBI. Now, as far as rethinking the bullpen goes, which is something we've been talking about for the last month, the idea the Dodgers had was to restock the bullpen with all these extraneous starters. It's shown mixed results last night. Emmett Sheehan, he gave up 2 runs in the 8th inning, for example. Roki Sasaki, on the other hand, did close with a shutout 9th inning, including 2 strikeouts. Now, I'll be honest with you, a couple of days ago, I was touting Sheehan as possibly somebody who was just going to rock it in the playoffs. He's only had a third of an inning. Bad outings happen. I'm not sure Sasaki did, in fact, wrestle the closing job away from Tanner Scott. But hey, it's early. The Dodgers advance. Let's be content with it. Toluca 3, Galaxy 2 in Campeones Cup. The Galaxy conceded twice in the final 10 minutes of the match, including the game winner in stoppage time. It's simply the ugliest follow-up season to a championship that I've ever seen. I don't know if any other team in any sport has won a title in 1 year and just plummeted to being one of the most craptacular teams in a league the next. I don't think so. Even with the Rams, when they won a Super Bowl, they came back and they at least won 5 games, right? That was with a big chunk of the team injured. The Galaxy basically imploded on themselves with the exception of the injury to Ricky Puig. There has to be major changes in the offseason. There has to be. As for today, Scum Francisco is at the Rams at 5:15. This is going to break up a 3-way tie atop the NFC West. And it's kind of amusing when you think about it, because you remember when the 49ers were a thing? Huh? Faithful to the Bay, 9 Nation, as if there ever really was such a thing. The coaching staff could even outfox Sean McVay back in the day. Stunning. Well, the Rams have beaten our evil neighbors 3 consecutive times, and I don't see a viable path for that to change. Now, don't get me wrong, this is not me claiming that the Rams are invincible. Okay? Way too early in the season. Way too much can happen. But speaking about way too much happening, the Niners have, for tonight, no Brock Purdy, no Brandon Ayuk, no George Kittle, no Nick Bosa. The backup quarterback also dinged. 3 wide receivers are out. So that offense which basically has Christian McCaffrey and who? They're going to face Chris Shula, the defensive coordinator of the Rams, who's continuing to add all these wrinkles to the defense to try to generate a pass rush, which was already frightening to look at in the first place. The defense is in the top 10 in team NFL stats in damn near every stat they have. For the Rams to lose, in my opinion, Matthew Stafford is going to have to stink up the joint. And Fred Warner of San Francisco, he's going to have to play out of his mind. He's literally going to have to be all over the field at once. And do you really see that happening? Puka Nacua has been Stafford's personal cheat code. They're talking about Nacua being on a historic pace. And yes, I am aware that whenever people mention wide receivers on a historic pace, that means that they think that dude can surpass Cooper Kupp. That's how amazing Puka Nacua has been. Do you see that slowing down? I don't. Not tonight. So let's get to the news. We've all come to admire Anze Kopitar for damn near 2 decades. You know, some players retire, right? And you don't want to say it out loud, but sometimes you can't wait for that guy to get as far away from the ice as possible. Thank God most of those type of players actually played for the San Jose Sharks, but I digress. Kopitar is getting his well wishes from across the league at the end of a triumphant career because of his reputation as a two-way center. He wasn't just an offensive juggernaut, and I'm not trying to clown Alex Ovechkin when I say this. Ovechkin will deserve his flowers as well. Kopitar could dominate both ends of the ice. When you're told that you're supposed to play the game the right way, he's the guy that youth hockey coaches point to. So you can only imagine how discouraging it is for us to see multiple scribes already turning the page on the guy. Yeah, they're turning the page on him. Now, they're doing it in subtle ways. They're not just jamming a knife into the guy's back. One scribe at The Athletic says, you'll want to have him. What a wonderful career. At this stage in his career, what a great second line center. And you're like, wait a second, he's not the second line center. He's still the top guy. What are you doing? He's the guy. And then, from that, you start to appreciate what they're trying to say subtly. You're not trying, nobody loves clowning the scribes more than I do, right? But I think they have a point. What they're trying to say is, psst, it's Quentin Byfield's time. Why do we know that? Because over at ESPN, they're basically saying it's now or never for Byfield. Because of all the mistakes the Kings have made with their prospects. Remember, they used to have the #1 prospect pool in the NHL, and Rob Blake lost his job because he piddled it all away. Just one miss after another in terms of how to utilize those prospects. The one thing that they've done right is how they've handled Quentin Byfield. Now, ESPN is insisting that Byfield needs to get more tough minutes to show that he can hang with the elites. Quote, after back-to-back seasons of point totals in the mid-50s, expect Byfield to use his speed, strength, and skill to physically dominate his shifts. There is a real pathway to a 30-goal, 45-assist season for him, and be reliable defensively, unquote. In other words, it's time to take the mantle. It's time for Byfield to take the mantle. Because you know what you're going to get in terms of gold from Adrian Kempe. If the Kings can get multiple guys blasting out more than 30 goals a year, that's probably their best shot. So as much as I like to trash the scribes, I think these guys have a point. We're not only supposed to appreciate Anze Kopitar while we have him, it's now time for Byfield to take the role as the #1 center and push Kopitar down to the second. As for the here and now, the Kings have moved 10 players off the training camp roster, and this included a couple of eye-popping choices. The headliner is forward Liam Greentree, who can only be sent back to junior hockey due to a quirk in minor league rules. He's way too polished for the OHL. He's not ready for the NHL. Theoretically, his development would accelerate if instead he was put into the AHL with the Ontario Reign. And think about that. When was the last time you've ever heard anyone say that the road to their future goes through the IE? Anyone? That's how bad of an idea it is for Greentree to go back to junior hockey. Junior hockey is so bad for this guy right now. He is so superior to the rest of everyone in junior hockey that his future actually lies in the Inland Empire. Phoenix Copley is the big surprise of the cuts, by the way. The Kings had an awkward choice with Greentree. Copley is the big surprise. He also is on his way to the Inland Empire. The guy has multiple years of NHL experience. He is the one, when all the other goaltenders were injured, he was the one who got the Kings into the Stanley Cup playoffs 2 years ago. And now? Go rent an apartment in Rancho Cucamonga, my dude. It makes for an interesting dilemma. We've been talking about how the Kings have multiple goaltending prospects coming in the minors. So, how do you handle that? Does Copley get the playing time now over prospect Eric Portillo? Should he? Now, other guys who were sent to Ontario, you've probably heard of. Akil Thomas, Martin Chromiak. It's a very unusual situation with the Kings. They're not a talented team per se. They're just deep. They don't have a bunch of superstars like Edmonton does. They're just deep. Thomas, Chromiak, and Greentree were all fighting for the last spot among the Kings' offensive lines. There's 12 spots available, a line, 3 players each, 4 of them. The only spot that was truly available came when Corey Perry's knee blew up. And unfortunately, none of them could answer that call. We knew the Chargers would play dumb when it comes to discussing injuries. All they're conceding about left tackle Joe Alt is that he is doubtful to play Sunday with a sprained ankle. Doubtful. They damn well know by now what the status is. They know. The guy's been scanned. They have the report from the radiologist. They know damn well whether it's a grade 1 sprain, which can be as little as a week, or grade 3, which can take months. They just don't want to tell you. Also, Mekhi Becton worked off to the side during practice yesterday, but he did not participate in drills. So, at this point of the week, be skeptical he plays. The Athletic took a straw poll of Heisman voters. USC's Mekhi Lemon has 1 first-place vote. He's the only Trojans player to get a vote. And I hate saying this because I'm honestly not trying to drag UCLA. In a season where Bruins fans have had a supermarket's worth of salt spilled on an open wound, get ready, here's another bag. Oregon's Dante Moore. Former Bruins quarterback Dante Moore is the current favorite to get the Heisman. On another note, the Big Ten Conference is looking to get an infusion of $2 billion in a private capital deal. Nobody is asserting that the conference is in any trouble. That would be the Pac-12. No, what the Big Ten is trying to do is they're just trying to grab as much cash as possible. College sports is a very selfish enterprise, guys. So they're thinking about doing things with this private capital deal, such as jersey ads like you see in the NBA, the NHL, the major leagues. Frankly, anything that helps UCLA get out of debt, fine by me. I'm surprised the Bruins aren't selling everything from Tommy Burgers to Cal Worthington and his dog Spot. I'm serious. But you let me know what you think in the comments thread. Talk to me about the Dodgers, how they looked in the first round, and if they are ready for the fightin' Phils. For that matter, how positive are you about the Rams and their place in the NFC West? And if you enjoyed the update, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We're talking LA sports every single day here. Thank you for watching. I'm James, and we'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Ken Cortel Queso production. Take care.